Now then, people, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on when this video goes out. But what I wanted to do today is just have a little bit of fun because I was listening late last night to Squareball, more importantly, Rob Conlon, talking specifically about the similarities between what's going on at the football club right now in terms of fan opinion on what we're seeing on the pitch, the manager, whether or not it's working or not, and what was going on in the Bielsa era. You know, me and Luke did a video just last night, just the other day, speaking about how maybe as a fan base we're spoiled and maybe we look back on things with a bit of rose-tinted glasses. And hearing Rob speak about certain games within Bielsa's season, it really pricked my interest and thought, do you know what? I'm going to do something similar. Let's go back and see what I was saying, what yous were saying, what other content creators were saying during this period in Bielsa's promotion season, I may add. So what I want to do first of all is just set the premise. Let's hear what Rob had to say, and then we can delve into it from there. But before we do, smash me a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it. So, folks, let's start first of all with the goats that are the square ball, the pinnacle, the the top of the tree that we all aspire to be. The fantastic Dan Moylan, Rob Conlon, and Michael Normington. Let's see what they say, and we'll pause it throughout. I mean, they might copy strike me, you know what I mean? They might be like, you don't be ending off us, Joe. But yeah, let's get into it first and foremost, and then you'll see which route this video is going to take.
But I'm really interested in this assertion we keep hearing that if Bielsa was in charge, everything would be different and we'd all be holding hands and everyone would be really happy and Leeds would be brilliant. I think on the match ball, you compared it maybe to the Swansea defeat and from the defeat at Charlton, which was in September of that season. If you basically replaced Bielsa's name with Farke, listening back to that podcast, you were moaning about exactly the same things that we are moaning about now.
See, this is where I just wanted to jump in straight away because I wanted to go back and listen to what I was saying during that time. And there was some quite illuminating things said during that period, not least about certain strikers that are still at the football club. I was at All Leeds TV at the time. So, yeah, should we do that now and see what I was saying about that? And this is me, by the way. I have used some other content creators that I was working with at the time as well that maybe are perceived as realists, but I would say negative. Please know this is all in jest, of course. You know what I'm talking about, Connor. But let's see what I've got to say, and more importantly, what he had to say during that period as well. Just a bit of history, folks. This is what now, I think like 5 years ago, I was in the garage. Yeah, good times. That shirt behind me there, signed actually by that side. Big up to Robbie Gotts. To Joe, keep up the videos, eh? I wonder if they're saying that about me now. Nah. But yeah, it was a different time. Let's listen to me then and see what I was saying about what was going on. So, look, the game itself, for me, we've only got ourselves to blame. Missed opportunities again, I think. You know, not massively over clear-cut opportunities. There was a few team efforts from Gianni Alioski. I say a few. There was maybe one or two, which is a few. Isn't that interesting, though? We hear there, like, we're talking one or two chances, one in the first half, one in the second half. Smash and grab Swans, similarly to what Burnley were doing, I would say, at a same stage of the season. That's one thing I wish we would do more of, shoot on sight. Again, that's something that we bemoaned Farke for, right? Listen to the next line. Because I feel at times we do try to walk it in the net. Again, this is something that I hear all the time. We're always trying to score the perfect goal. We're trying to walk it in the net, etc., etc. We're saying exactly the same things, me as well, that we under Bielsa. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. And I feel that we're holding Farke up to an unrealistic expectation, which is what me and Luke were talking about just the other day. But for me, the big opportunities missed
were once again by Patrick Bamford. People are probably not going to...
No!
I think for me, Eddie Nketiah and Costa have to start the next game.
Again, here's something there straight away. Like, better the devil you know. I'm asking there at that point, get Bamford out, get Harrison out, and get Costa and Eddie Nketiah in. Now, this was in September, so similar sort of time to what we're seeing now of saying, get Tanaka in, get Ramazani in, and wanting changes. And that was the same. It's a carbon copy of what's happening now.
Being too drastic, you know what I mean? Wow, we've lost a game. But I do think changes are needed. Look, Swansea had one chance of note for me before they scored. I think it was a Matt Grimes free kick. How's your mum? Other than that, they didn't really do much. So this talk, Cooper's, their gaffer's coming.
Steve Cooper, by the way. Steve Cooper! Now at Leicester City, of course.
Now saying, there's ways to exploit Leeds United. They can be got at, etc. How and when? I
was quite vitriolic in my response there, only seeing it one way. I remember Parker talking about scripted movements, of course, and that annoyed me. And Cooper saying this because ultimately, similarly to Burnley, they had, 1-2 chances and they took them and were like knocking at the door like we did against Burnley. And not, the door's not opening. There's no room at the inn. And what's the difference there? There is no difference from what we saw at Burnley. And this is where I guess the knee-jerk reaction, and it is reaction to saying get the manager out after one loss. Calm is needed, I believe.
I thought Pablo, again, was a little bit off. He was late to the party for me.
Oh, see, there's another thing as well. Like, we need players can't be on it 100% of the time, 100% of the time. That almost sounds Ron Burgundy-esque, but do you see what I'm saying? Even top players have their poor games.
He did come into it late on, 100%. Don't get me wrong, because I kept saying to Sean, Pablo's on it now, but it has been quite a continuous theme throughout the season that is going missing a little bit.
Ooh. Yeah, so you can see there are a lot of similarities between what we saw against Burnley and against Swansea under Bielsa, the Messiah, the guy that took us back to the promised land. And I guess my point, that it's a bigger point of here, like, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. The football always isn't great. And ultimately, that culminated in promotion. And I believe this season will also culminate in promotion. So you've listened to my thoughts post Swansea, where I said, look, they didn't show anything. We missed some chances. He also mentions the Charlton game there. Now, unfortunately, for whatever reason, going through the archives on All Leeds TV, there isn't a video from me discussing the Charlton game. There is, however, one of Connor and one of Oscar from All Leeds TV. So I just wanted to go back and listen to what's being said at that period. And obviously, it's easy now with hindsight to look back and know that we got promoted. But we're singing from the same hymn sheets again. And listen, Connor, it is all love. If I had mine, I'd have showed it. But I think this is a decent barometer of where we currently are. And look, the ramblings. Let's have a listen.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to All Leeds TV here, reviewing your Charlton Athletic 1, Leeds United 0. And, how many wake-up calls do we need now?
How many wake-up calls? How many wake-up calls? This is 9 games into the season and only our second loss. You've heard my thoughts at Swansea. 9 games into the season and only our second loss. Wake-up calls needed.
We've had Swansea. We had Barnsley, in my personal opinion. Barnsley were very unfortunate to not get a result against us. Very unfortunate. You've got Derby and now Charlton. But, the 3 previous, I thought, we'd maybe learn our lessons, but we haven't,
And again, this isn't to dig Connor out. This is a case of saying it's the same things we're hearing about Farke, with failure to break down a low block. Connor there saying, and during that time, the games that he mentions, obviously we draw with Derby, we lose against Swansea. We did beat Barnsley 2-0, but obviously I can't remember the game. I was actually at that game, by the way, but we win that game 2-0 down at Oakwell. But I think Nketiah might have come off the bench late on potentially and secured the points. I may be wrong anyway. It is by the by. But my point is, learning lessons. We clearly were doing similar things that were seeing us not win games of football, similarly to what's happening with Farke. But this was under the great man Marcelo Bielsa.
We've done the exact same thing. We've set up sort of the exact same way, sort of the rigid structure that we've been setting up for 2 years now, which, has brought us success. Well, has it? Has it?
Has it brought success? This is the point, isn't it? Again, it's the same vibe, man. Like, we're set up in the same rigid formation. This is Marcelo Bielsa. This is not Daniel Farke. Remember, like Rob said, if you just replace the name Farke with Bielsa, this is what you will get.
I'm questioning myself now. It's brought us success league position-wise. Has it brought us success in general? It's made us better, I guess, but... Yeah.
What more do you want, Connor, bro? What more do you want? League position and made us better.
It's hard to analyse, really, because Charlton deserved that. They completely deserved that. We didn't deserve anything there. I thought we were pretty poor. We didn't create anything, really. Bamford didn't really have a clear-cut chance.
There we go, though. This is the point I'm coming back to again. Under Marcelo Bielsa, early parts of the season, we don't create anything. Bamford didn't have a clear-cut chance. The difference being against Burnley is we had a couple of players that did.
Eddie, when he came on for 45, didn't really have a clear-cut chance. Costa couldn't get into the game. Harrison was the exact same Harrison again.
Hot and cold Harrison, to be fair to him. He's always said this. Was he right?
I must be on cloud nine, guys. I just do not see what Bielsa sees in that lad.
I mean, he's a Premier League footballer, but a lot of people agree with Connor on this one.
And a lot of you will come on here and turn around and say, well, he wasn't the worst, but once again, I mean, why did we get him back? Like, what's the point? Like, what is
Why did we get him back for a second season on loan?
What is the point? Can't cross the ball, can't take a man on, can't shoot. I don't know. It is the most frustrating thing. And we just feel like, do you then look at the coaching staff? Because it follows a blueprint of last season.
Again, see, coach. No, again, this isn't to dig anyone out. I was probably saying similar things. I don't know why I don't have a Charlton review out, in all honesty. I can't find it anywhere. But I think Oscar's title was very much like we need to put the onus on the team, the players. I'd imagine I was probably on cloud nine going, Bielsa is still the man, etc. But I think even there, my point is Bielsa, the great man, is getting criticism from the fan base. We weren't the only ones. Rob mentioned he listened to the post-match, their podcast at the end, and they were saying the exact same things.
Some of the performances like Hull at home and Birmingham at home, and it's just the exact same style of football. And maybe ultimately that's why in his career, Bielsa hasn't been successful.
And there we go again. And I think we're not here to go through that whole video, 19 minutes worth of Connor being negative. But ultimately, there we go. Bielsa, that's why he's not successful. Same style of play, etc. It's the same things. But let's go back to what the square ball said.
The manager making rubbish, ineffective substitutions and changing the formation, and the players looking like they don't know where they're playing.
And again, on this point here, I do want to bring up, because, look, someone said to me the other day, like, Bielsa changed it in game to ensure we'd win. No, he never. Like, Bielsa had preordained substitutions at times, even when we were behind. I remember in cup games, he would make 3 pre-planned subs and we'd be behind, and they would have no effect on the game. He would continuously use Tyler Roberts in the Premier League. Now, let's not forget, Tyler Roberts is now playing at Northampton, somewhere mid-table in League One. Yet he was going up against Liverpool, that top Liverpool side under Klopp as well, I remember. Salah, Mane, Firmino, that side, Fernandinho, that side. This notion that Bielsa did certain things, and listen, I'm not discrediting the big man at all. I'm just saying there needs to be calm.
And you look back to that start of the season, and we're basically the Brendan Aronson miss against Portsmouth, away from it being more or less the same. Between September and November, we never won back-to-back league games.
So you can see here, folks, as Rob just so kindly alluded to, between September and November, we never won back-to-back league games. In that run there, we'd come back off the international break, beaten Barnsley, drew with Derby, lost to Charlton, beat West Brom, lost away at Millwall, beat Birmingham, 2 draws on the spin against Preston on Wednesday, and then obviously we get to November and we go on a run, which is much like what we've seen last season, actually, coincidentally, with Daniel Farke. But yes, again, looking back with these rose-tinted glasses, can you imagine now, right? Let's imagine a scenario this season. We come back after the international break and we do not win back-to-back league games for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fixtures. No disrespect, this fan base will be in meltdown. They'll be going, get him out now. So it is just a case of a little bit step back, a little bit of perspective, people.
We lost 3 times in the first 11 games, I think it was.
Again, folks, coming back to this, you can see there a 1-0 loss against Swansea, a loss away at Charlton, and a 2-1 loss at Millwall. So 3 losses in 11 games. We've only lost 1 in 5. So we could actually have a better start than, in 5 games' time. I mean, there may be another loss in there. We've got some tough games coming up. But can you imagine the outrage if we were to lose another game within that run? It'd be absolutely insane.
We had an 11-point buffer to 3rd place at one point. Blew that. We went another 2 months between like January and March, where it all completely collapsed.
Like again, folks, here, look at the state of this January run. We can all remember this. I remember Luke Ayling after Nottingham Forest away, and Nottingham were saying they were going to go up, if you remember. I don't think they won another game between then and the end of the season, or certainly not many. And we remember getting beat 2-0 away at Forest, and Luke Ayling coming out and him looking like a ghost. And then obviously we went to Brentford and Kiko makes an error. Cooper gets us back in it, and that really kick-started the campaign again for Leeds United. But again, imagine this barren spell. Imagine it happening now. That's why I just say there's that little bit of perspective. We all need to just go, calma, tranquillo.
all the complaints that I'm hearing now that I am also hearing that Bielsa would have fixed, it's exactly the same stuff as what we were saying then.
It's almost like, Rob, that it'd be absolutely catastrophic if we didn't go up from a financial point of view.
And I think for me, this is where a lot of the crux of the problems are, is we're just so nervous because we've seen what happened this summer with not going up. And I myself am scared. Obviously, if we went into the end of this season and we don't go up, can you imagine just how bad it would be? We lost so many players this summer. It'd be catastrophic, this. But I guess it's almost like, look, we've been here before. We've seen this movie before. And we just need to say, do you know what? This part of the movie at times might be rocky, might be shit. But, there's a big payoff at the end. And at the end comes promotion for Leeds United. And there's no better manager placed than Daniel Farke. I'm sorry to say it. I know not a lot of you'll like it, but it's true.
But I think not shit in the bed would be like a really good idea. Because I've seen Leeds United shit the bed loads. And it never works. So I think maybe 5 games into the season after 1 league defeat, we might be all right to just calm down a bit.
I wonder how many of you were watching this going, I think he's right. I dare say not a lot. So I guess the whole purpose of this video, having listened to the Square Ball lads, myself, Connor, and no doubt if you go back and check your own thoughts and feelings during that time. I mean, let's have a dip into the comments. And again, folks, what a shock. Similar comments to what I am seeing now on my feed. Again, this isn't to dig anyone out. This is 4 years ago. But this is what happens when you miss out on promotion, buy no one, and sell 2 first-team regulars, and have no defence against corners, and have Bamford up front. We won't even make the playoffs. Again, this is sort of similar comments that I'm seeing now. The most predictable thing about this side is the lack of goal scores. It will be the downfall of this team unless things change quickly. Remember, this is only a couple of games into the season, folks, and we went on to win the league by 10 points. Again, another one here. The truth is, Bielsa isn't as good as he is made out to be. We are predictable and teams know how to play against us. We won't be going up this season. Same as last season, ticky-tacky BS with no end product. We will never get it fixed. Agree with everything you said. And what really makes me mad is Bielsa does not have a plan B if things are going wrong. Listen, we could go through them all. Again, it's not to dig anybody out because I was probably saying similar things. The majority of the fan base was. But I guess it's just to have a little look and say, do you know what? We've seen this movie before. We know how this ends. And this ends in promotion. So just take a little chill pill. Sit back, relax, put your feet up. and know that, you know, positive results are on the horizon, and Leeds United will dick this league similarly like they did in 18-19 or 19-20. Sorry, my apologies. 18-19, I think. But listen, this was good. I found this quite cathartic, and it was nice to take a trip down memory lane. I hope you enjoyed it too. Please let me know in the comments. Smash a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course hit that notification bell. And I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds, Leeds.